Hey guys, this is Pastor Sean. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. And for today's video, I wanted to talk about a little bit about politics. Just something a little different. Normally, I don't really focus on the subject, but I thought it would be different, being that maybe it's just the algorithm or the things that I've been watching lately on YouTube and BitChute. Is I want to talk to you guys about why this Christian here, devout Christian, Pastor Sean, likes to keep up and watch a show that I've been watching for the last 5 months now. And the show was called America First with Nicholas J. Fuentes. See, which I'm sure is going to be shocking to a lot of people that watch this. And I know I struck a chord with my video last week, which was actually a subject, ethical stereotyping or racial stereotyping. It was a question I got wrong 3 times on my last test. Did I just do this? Did I just throw up the 666 right there? Okay, I'm sorry. There we go, sign the cross. Anyways, and I think it struck a chord in some way because it's now my most watched video. And actually, I was just going through 3 different articles all about it because I failed it 3 times on my test for my exam after lecture 6 for my introduction to psychology class. So I want to talk, I guess, because it is interwoven into politics, I guess. So I want to talk about the show that I like to keep up with because my fiance actually brought this up a couple months ago, where I quit putting on the show when she's home, and instead I put on the Joe Rogan show, even though I can't stand him. That guy is just, that alpha male stuff is so annoying. It's just, I mean, it actually made a lot of sense when I went onto Google and found out how tall he is. Go ahead and Google Joe Rogan and type in his height. But anyways, so the reason I like to keep up with that's like my favorite political show to watch, other than the Rubin Report with Dave Rubin. And I watched a lot of the Andrew Klavan show, maybe a year or so ago, like 2 years ago, and especially like the Ben Shapiro show. I mean, obviously, and also Michael Knowles, and I never watched the other guy. I forgot who he was, but I watched, Tucker Carlson. I'm pretty much one of those guys that likes to watch, I guess, anything and everything that has to do with, like, I like to look at things like a sphere, like a, one of those transparent globes, where I like to look in a bunch of different directions at once. Like, I watch Charlie Kirk sometimes. I watch, I like to get different views. Like on Tuesdays, normally I'll listen to a lecture by Slavoj Žižek. So it's like going left and right and progressive, center, extreme right, extreme left. I like to look at a lot of ideas at once and then form my own opinions, like an adult. Okay, so, but my favorite show to watch is that show. Because this guy is completely, if you really think about it, this guy's completely captivating. Now, it's the same thing as Dennis Prager or Ben Shapiro. And because I understand that there's things about the state of Israel and Zionism and things like that. And I do know that there was a video a couple months ago that Gavin McInnes put out on Censor TV talking about that he is pro-Zion, which is very strange, but anyway, so me personally, I do not support stuff like that. So when it comes to Zion or the state of Israel kind of thing, that's like to me, that's the equivalent of state of Islam. It's bad. It is not Christ. It has nothing to do with Christ. Okay, you have to keep in mind that when it comes to rabbis and whatnot and the Jewish people, is that those are the people that murdered Jesus. Okay, not saying that it wouldn't just be, he wouldn't have been crucified by any other kind of sect of politics or religion or whatever. Like somebody, I think about 2 years ago, this guy sent me this long message saying that, like, the guy was calling me a Nazi because I put out a video of like, it literally was a video on Facebook of me doing a sermon, like an hour-long sermon on some random book in the Bible at the time, which I just felt that was incredibly confusing. But the guy said that Nazis saluted Christ when they were saluting along with Hitler. And it's like, I even showed that to my dad, and we both just looked at each other like, what is this guy talking about? They hailed him as God, and their way of thinking of that National Socialism as God, not Christ, okay? Just one of many problems with that. But anyways, so even though the Catholics, Mormons, Jewish people, like these people are, to the Christian, genuine Christian, these people are allies. I'm not talking about cultural Christians. So I'm talking about people that actually are saved. So they are the, they are the allies for us. So the thing is about the Zionist state is I completely do not agree with that. I don't like that. I believe that is completely unbiblical. The two elders that I learned under from the Calvary Church are both really big into that of supporting Israel and whatnot. But I just personally, I understand that it says several times in the Old Testament that is the apple of God's eyes, that he always looks at the land of Israel 24 hours a day. He loves the land of Israel. That is God's special holy land. But just because the politics and the things that are connected to the Talmud, along with the Pharisees and Sadducees and the rabbis even going up till nowadays in 2020, basically saying that, let me put it like this, to be as least offensive as possible. If you deny Christ, you're going to hell. If the land denies Christ, that land's going to hell. That's all I'm going to say about that. So, anyways, but I like to watch Nick Fuentes because I do agree. I think he's sharp, he's funny, he's cunning. My fiance did, I don't know if I just said this or not, but my fiance told me to turn off the video. Like, she didn't want to hear it because she was saying he is narcissistic. And he was saying some kind of thing that came off as like racist narrative or something. I forgot what it was, like something like that. So, which I do agree with. A few of the things that he says I don't agree with because it's a little too much. It's a little too extreme for my taste. But this guy is someone to watch out. This guy he's cool to watch. Like on the D Live and also on like YouTube, even though we got kicked off, just like when Alex Jones and Owen Schroyer and Dennis Knight and all them got kicked off of YouTube. But anyways, so he believes in things and teaches about things that are more aligned with how I personally feel about politics. Now, let me just get this out there that when it comes to politics, so here's the thing about that. If you want to believe in nationalism or socialism or I don't know, whatever the thing is that my carrot stuck in my tooth. Anyways, here's the thing about that. You have to be really careful with that, because there's people that are pro-Trump, against Trump, whatever it is. If you're putting your politics above God, you're sinning. If you put your own faith into our land, you're sinning. If you put it over God, like if this is who you are, like as a person, Christ comes first, okay? That's the personal relationship you're supposed to be having is with him, okay? Not the ideals of America, okay? I'm definitely not saying that that's a bad thing at all. I personally think it's a good thing when you're a constitutional conservative, I believe that's what it's called, or what is that other one? Conservative libertarian. I mean, that's what I guess I guess personally that's the box I would put myself into, but I'm definitely open to hearing other people's ideas. I mean, I have a whole bunch of friends from different, I don't know, sections, like different belief sets and whatnot. But the thing that I completely don't agree with is that he believes that Catholicism, I'm speaking about Nick Fuentes here, it's like that one guy who used to be my personal trainer at the Platinum Gym, where he told me the Seventh-day Adventists are the remnant church. And people like Nick Fuentes, who are devout Catholics, which is fine, because they are our allies and believe around the same things that we believe, these people, to me personally, are not saved. They do not know Christ, or they know a engraved image in their head of who Christ is. Catholics are not saved. That's my opinion on that. So when he's pushing a narrative that is true faith, that is completely incorrect. You cannot, it's just, but I say the same thing with the Mormon church. I say the same thing with Christian scientists, the Christian Science church. I mean, me personally, I think when it comes to understanding biblical theology, the closest that we have, in my personal opinion, is Calvinism. So going to an apologetics church, that's the closest to actual, like, the reading of scripture in the original language, the original, four languages that it was written in. So that's just my personal opinion. So I don't agree with Nick Fuentes on that point, but I like the fact that he's Catholic. I will take that over atheism, or like really anything. I mean, or him saying that he bows to the state of Islam. Whatever the situation is, or the whole hippie new age movement that's still going on nowadays, of so many people like adhering to that style. So, I mean, look, I personally like to follow him. I don't take everything he says seriously. I don't with really anybody, because you can get in a lot of trouble by doing something like that. Like, go do something stupid, like go to one of these rallies in Portland, or I don't know, Seattle or whatever, and then you end up getting shot for your political beliefs. That is completely ridiculous. Do not do that. The only person that you're supposed to die for is Christ. You get on your hands and knees and say, I bow my knee to the foot of the cross, and if you got to kill me, then you put the gun right here. Or if you want to torture me to death, then do it. That's the only, to me personally, of what I teach on the channel, that's the only reason to die for something. That's it. Do not die for this country. Do not die for any country. Don't die for your crew, your gang, like your family. I mean, it depends on the situation, but your family, like, you're getting the point here. Like, you know, you're not supposed to die for Charlie Kirk or President Trump or whatever, or even die for the left, like what's going on in those Antifa circles and, you know, just things like that. But like dying for like Al Qaeda and ISIS and whatever, it's dying for Allah. It's a one-way ticket to hell and anything but Christ. That's what he says in the book of Luke. No one can get to the Father except through me, and the Father is the master and Lord of our universe. He is the strongest being in our universe, of any universe. He created all universes. So, anyways, I don't even know if really that like answered your guys' question, or if I even like said this correctly, where it wasn't confusing. But I just wanted to talk about just my, you know, just what I like to follow. I mean, I listen to a lot of different podcasts on different subjects, but that's my personal favorite. As of now, it's most likely going to change. So I just feel that a lot of the things he talks about of his values is not being talked about, like with the whole culture wars thing with, you know, Charlie Kirk and Ben Shapiro. Like, it just seems like it's just at times I can't relate to that, or I can't relate to them, even though I personally like a lot. I'm a big fan of the intellectual dark web. So, yeah. So anyways, I really don't know if that helps anybody, or if I just made things more confusing.